Here is how we installed 2 of our 4-foot backsplash sections behind an 8-foot DIY outdoor kitchen modular frame kit. In this video, we'll also show how to install an electrical box in the backsplash and a wraparound backsplash on the end. We have 2 4 feet of backsplash kits to fit behind our DIY outdoor kitchen 8-foot module frame kit. Now we've laid both of these kits out here on the ground. We've got the tracks on the top and the bottom. They're 2.5 inches wide by 4 feet long. And then we have our 2.5 inch studs. It's all 20 gauge galvanized steel, which is perfect for a backsplash because it's not supporting any heavy structural things. It's just for looks and for function, so things don't fall off the back of your island. And it's also good for electrical outlets. A backsplash, and this is a 41-inch high backsplash kit. Now you can see here the track, the studs slip on the inside of the track, on the inside, and we put a screw here, a self-drilling screw, no pre-drilling required, and we'll put 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on one side, then we'll screw these in so that way it's all put together on one side. We don't screw the other side. We're only screwing one side for now. We'll screw together both kits here. Great. And we just keep screwing those corners in. We insert the stud into the track. We make sure it's inserted all the way and it's flush on the end. If your hands aren't strong enough to hold this in flush because studs and track move around a lot, you can use the vice clamp like we did in the beginning here. Take our black marker and just make a line at 16 and 32 on the top and bottom so that we can line up our studs easily. Now we're screwing in these bar studs in the field here. We really love these self-drilling screws because it just makes it so fast and easy to assemble these steel frames for DIY outdoor kitchens. If you've ever done IKEA furniture, it's so difficult. You have to try to put in the wooden dowel. You could have to use glue. I mean, it could be very difficult. Here, with these DIY outdoor kitchen frames, you're just using self-drilling screws, no pre-drilling. It's so much easier for this type of assembly. So now we have the first one screwed together on one side within a couple of minutes, and we'll go ahead and repeat on the second one because we're making an 8-footer. But we could buy as many of these as needed for any length island. If you had an island that wasn't equal to these 4-foot sections, let's say you have a 14-foot island, we would have done 4 and 4 is 12. And then before we had assembled the third one, we would have cut this track down to the right length to make the last section of a 14-foot island. So we always work our way across the back of these islands, and the last kit we can cut to fit for a custom length. That's how it works. Okay, the second one is going together very quickly here. We're on to the last 2 bar studs in the center here.
Hey!
Wow, in only 5 minutes, we were able to screw these backsplash kits together for our DIY outdoor kitchen. Now let's install on the back of our 8-foot module. Okay, we have our 8-foot module here, and we're starting from the left side with our first 4-foot backsplash kit. We always work from left to right, one at a time. Now you have 2 choices to connect this. The kit comes with 4 of these connector plates. You have one choice is to go ahead on the outside here and screw this on 1, 2, but then you'll have screws sticking out. So you may not want to do that because it'll interfere with your cement board. So your second option, instead of doing that, would be to buy an extra VT that you can line up with this inner bar stud. And so it'll be flush, and you could put 2 here rather than outside. That keeps it on the inside, and outside will be flush with no screw heads, which is much more professional. So I recommend buying an extra VT for here and an extra VT for that one if you don't want to unscrew this one. So it's your choice. Do more labor, unscrew this and shift it over, or just buy 2 extra VTs per 4-foot section of backsplash kit for easier assembly to put these on the inside. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to put them on the outside, and this one you'd have to unscrew and shift it over to do this one. So it's up to you how much work you want to do and how professional results you want. But if you're striving to be a professional, I would definitely get just 2 extra VTs, slap them in here quickly, and do my 4 connector plates, done, and move on to the next one. So we'll go ahead and do the professional way and install 2 extra VTs sold separately. Now we're taking our VTs and we're installing them so that the solid side here would be flush to the solid side of the bar stud, you see? So we'll just quickly screw that in, and now we're ready to put our connector plates on the inside of the frame. On the outside here, we used a sliding clamp just to kind of hold this flush here while we do this to keep it nice. Okay, so now we installed 4 connector plates, one here, one there, one here, one there. And now we'll go ahead and take our hammer and we gotta hit those around so it'll make a little bit stronger hold to it. And we do that to all 4 of them. So now with that backsplash done, we'll go ahead and install our second one here the same way. Now we do have some more VTs on this side, so we could either move them over, move them around, or buy 2 extra ones so that it's much easier. So we'll go ahead and just buy 2 extra ones to line them up with the backsplash studs like we did that one. It's much easier, less work. Now we went ahead and put our second one into position, and you can see on our 8-foot frame, it came out nice and flush. That's perfect. So now that we know it's nice and flush, we'll go ahead and install it with the connector plates, just like we did the first one. If it was a little bit too long, then we would have trimmed this before we installed it. But it looks like on an 8-foot module here, the 2 4-foot ones fit perfectly nice and flush on the ends. So it turned out perfect, nice and easy. A quick tip, in addition to those 4 connector plates, when you have 2 backsplashes together, you can come from the inside and put a couple screws to the neighboring stud. That makes it a little bit stronger connection all into one like that. So that's really good. Another thing you can do is we used our hex head screws on this that they kind of stick out a little bit, but you can have a choice. You could go down to your local hardware store and buy panhead self-drilling screws, which have a much low profile head. It wouldn't stick out as far. So that's a nice thing if you have time to go down to your local store and get the panhead self-drilling screws for this backsplash kit. Now you can see that all the screws are facing this way. There's no screws on the inside here, so it's nice and tight. You see, it's nice and flush. And now out here where we didn't put screws, that's okay, because when we put our sheet of cement board, we're gonna put screws through the cement board into the steel framing, which will hold all this backside together. There's no reason to put screws here. They're gonna stick out and not make your cement board flush to the frame on the back. So that's how we do it here. We screw it in this VT with it lining up nice and flush, just like we did before. Snoopy, what are you doing? Oh no, Snoopy.
Check it, check it.
Check it out, Snoopy. Did we do a good job? Huh? Did we do a good job? Yeah, good boy, good boy. So we're using one of our electrical boxes for steel framing that we sell on the DIY Outdoor Kitchen website. We like to put it horizontally so when you do your countertop, you'll still have plenty of space above the countertop for your electrical box. And what we do is it has pre-made holes, 3 pre-made holes. We'll put screws through that, and there it is. And then your electrician can come in later and run in the electrical wiring. So it's that easy. Now you can see that we have a grill here, and we wanted to have a grill rotisserie. So we need an electrical box because the grill rotisserie will need to be plugged in here. We also could have came down on the side here and put one if you want to do that, if you don't have a backsplash for your grill rotisserie. So there's a couple options that you can do with these electrical boxes that are available on our e-store. This thick 20 gauge steel track is strong enough to hold this there it is, perfect. Now some people might want to make a bigger ledge on the top. We've had clients who get a 4-inch overhang kit and they put the overhang kit on the back side of this backsplash to make like a nice little shelf to put drinks or something for people who weren't gonna do a split bar counter. So that's an option, adding these 4-foot sections of 4-foot backsplash catch kits.